What you're looking at here are the adult physical activity guidelines, which basically means this is what we should all be aiming for if we want to reduce our risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, dementia, and many more medical conditions by 50%. You can also reduce your risk of premature death by 20 to 30% if you adhere to these guidelines. And they're pretty good in my opinion. So let's have a look. So the first box you can see here, it says do at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity, such as cycling or brisk walking every week. Now you can see by their faces, they're having a good time. They're not working too hard there. So they're working at a social pace. So moderate aerobic activity is considered a social pace. You can have a conversation, but your heart rate is elevated, your breathing rate's up, you're getting warm. That's great exercise. And with this, you can break it up however you want. So that might look like 30 minutes, 5 times a week. You could break it up even further. Let's say you walk to work and it takes you 15 minutes to briskly walk to work, 15 minutes to walk home again. Monday to Friday, you do that, that's your 150 minutes. Now, over on the left here, you can see 75 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity, such as running or a game of singles tennis every week. Now, what this tells us is if you work harder, more intensely, you can actually exercise for less time to get the same benefits of moderate exercise. So it's not necessarily that one is better than the other. It's just that if we do work more intensely, we know that we don't have to work out for quite as long. Now, the picture is probably not great, actually, because although these guys are running and jogging, and jogging or running tends to be quite vigorous, smiling a bit too much, I think, for vigorous exercise. But the idea being with vigorous is it's challenging. It takes you out your comfort zone. It's going to be difficult to have a conversation. So imagine running around on a tennis court, bit of competitive singles, that's going to be difficult to hold a conversation. You're going to be getting out of breath. Now that's a bit regimented, isn't it? One or the other. You don't have to do one or the other. You can do a mixture of the two if you want. So let's say you were to do 25 minutes of vigorous exercise on a Monday, then that would be equivalent of 50 minutes of moderate. So then the rest of the week, you could do 100 minutes of moderate exercise. So don't forget, you can mix the two. Now, even that sounded pretty regimented, what I just said there. So you don't have to hit bang on 150 minutes. In fact, more than that has been shown to be even better. So we can do more. We can certainly do a lot more of moderate. 300 minutes of moderate is still shown to be brilliant, even more beneficial than 150 minutes. So I would say your target is to hit the minimum and just progress from there. But that is not all. Don't forget as well, we should be doing strength exercises on 2 or more days a week that work all the major muscles. So what this does is it strengthens our bones, our ligaments, our tendons. It strengthens our core stability, and it prevents us from falling over when we get older. So this is really, really important. Now that could look like taking part in a circuit training class twice a week. It could be doing some calisthenics. It could be doing a kettlebell class, a weight training class, bodybuilding, anything where you're moving load, overcoming resistance. And then finally, reduce the amount of time spent sedentary for prolonged periods of time. So this is where you can get apps and things now that will remind you to move if you've been sat down for too long. We're not designed to sit down for prolonged periods of time. We should be on our feet. We should be moving. So there's a great set of guidelines there that we should all be aiming for. Hit the minimum and progress from there.